Well, hello everybody. Would you believe I already made a movie along the lines that I am now going to discuss, but I wasn't happy with it. I had my hair was all over the place. I just sat down my singlet, so to speak, and made the movie. So I put it on, but now I've deleted that. I'd like to do another one, hopefully a little bit shorter, and that it might be worthwhile viewing right through, I hope, and discussing the book that I've just got here. It's called Christians and Evolution. I want to show it to you, but I'll give you the details of that. And it's not often, shall we say, that one gets affected or impressed by a book to such a degree that I'd like to talk about it on a video or make some sort of book review, but I am doing that now. And I'll just read one little piece out from this professor, Sir Chilean Prance, very unusual name, but anyway, professor says, "A most timely, much needed book. I have seen too many confused young Christians wrestling with scientific facts. The varied experience of the authors in this book will help many people to keep their faith and their scientific integrity." What it amounts to, in a sense, there's a lot. There's 18 different people. Now, you can get it through your local library. I would think you could inquire there. I got it from the Coorong bookshop in Brisbane. It cost me $17, $16.99 to be precise. But anyway, it's well worthwhile reading. It's a terrific book. But for those who try to track it down at the library, ISBN 978085721 5246. Now, anyway, get asked. Christians and Evolution, edited by Professor R.J. Berry. In brief, and I did a take, my first take, well, I wasn't happy with it. In brief, I started as I was a pre-teen, let's say, in the sense of my mother had a friend come over and she said, "Oh, John's he's a agnostic, you know." "Oh, what's an agnostic?" I looked it all up and I realised, oh, well, you know, I don't accept God, but I don't accept evolution. I haven't made my mind up about everything. And then many years later, in fact the early 1990s, I became a Christian. And actually a friend of mine, John Edwards, took me to a local church, and initially I was quite resistant to the idea and everything. I went along to that, and eventually made my mind up that it was the truth. In other words, that the God exists and that Jesus is Lord and Saviour. So I accepted all that. Anyway, I always poo-hooed evolution. I thought, come on, show me the missing link between, you know, show me the your fossil links right through to the platypus. Can you show me what, you know, how they formed and all this sort of thing? Of course, no one could. And there's a lot more to it than that. But I used to argue on that along those lines. And same as when I was a kid, very much. I'm talking about a sub-teen. I'd say to some Christian, poor Christian kid at the time, you know, "Oh, so God made the universe and everything in it. Who made God?" Once again, no answer. But we've gone right past all of that, and we come to the present time in the sense that I got hold of this book only a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, oh, this book would be good for my non-Christian friends. This is 18 Christians here. They're explaining everything, and they're very highly qualified. You know, you're talking biologists and physicists, professors. We're talking really highly qualified people. Surely they'll put over some good arguments. But the trouble was, the arguments they put over was the opposite to that. But they didn't lose their faith. And they know that there's a huge conflict with some Christians, or many, with people who believe in evolution, and then on that end of the spectrum, let's say, there's evolutionists who say, see, this proves God doesn't exist, this proves the Bible's a load of rubbish, and that's not true. Now, all those people, I've read all their stories, you know, and they're probably, I've done 18 chapters, I've done about 17 chapters so far. And the overarching theme is that they retain their faith in God and they accept Jesus as Lord and Saviour. But that evolution has been proven now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the way they described quite well, and reasonably layman's terms, but they describe quite well what they're talking about. And it seems like the two faiths, I used to say that if you're an evolutionist or you believe in the Big Bang, that's a great faith, because you've got to believe we came from nowhere, and etc. You know, you heard all these arguments. But I would say, even to my non-Christian friends, people I could name quite a number, but people like Steve Petroni in Adelaide, I'll send a copy of this to him, and I'd think he'd have a look at the video and perhaps source the book from the library or buy it. It's not very expensive, it's only $17. It is well worthwhile reading. And while we're on that subject of books, to balance this discussion out too, is for those who just can't accept Christianity, can't accept creation, let's say, or can't accept God or anything of that nature, a book called The Case for Christ by Lee Strobel is absolutely worth getting hold of. And I've loaned this, or actually effectively given this to a couple of family members or friends that they had no reaction to, by the way, because I won't name them, but quite obviously they didn't read it. Which is disappointing, because it has powerful arguments as to why Christ is who he is claimed to be, and so on. Now, I don't want to Bible bash people at all. It's not the aim of this video. The aim of the video is to give you an honest, if amateurish, let's say, book review. But please get hold of the book, because it will open your eyes, whether you're a Christian or a non-Christian. And as I said, I made a different version of this. I wasn't happy with it. My hairstyle was shocking. I was wearing a singlet. My wife just said, "Oh, what are you doing wearing a singlet?" So I put on a better shirt. And anyway, these are minor things. Well, I'm putting this on now, and I'm going to leave it to you to think about it and get in touch with me if you like. Make civil and polite comments. I don't want any nasty comments. And another thing that crosses my mind that's not from the book, and that is distance and time. For the young Earth people and the young universe people, it's just not possible, by the way, because galaxies are so far away, they could be 100 million light years away. So it takes light 100 million years to reach Earth to see where the light source is. In other words, to observe something, it takes light that long to reach us. So we know that the world and the universe is much older than many Christians would claim. And at one time, if not for 1,000 years, people thought, well, God created the earth and everything else afterwards, therefore the earth is the centre of the universe. Well, sorry to have to tell you guys, but the earth is on the edge of a fairly ordinary average galaxy, and it is just one perhaps of thousands, if not millions, or maybe a million or more planets with life on it. And it might seem shocking and hard to digest, but it seems that God has created evolution as such because evolution exists, and he can't create Adam and Eve, and then have all that story unfold, and then say, oh, I think I'll create more. No, and you can't also say, oh well, no, that none of the Bible's right. Oh no, evolution's right, the Big Bang's right, etc., etc., etc. There is a way to resolve those issues, and investigation, research. The amount of research that's been done is impressive into the subject. As I said, I don't want to go off too much on the topic. I just recommend the book, and I recommend the book Case for Christ by Lee Strobel, and I hope that what I've been saying is of some benefit and interest to people, and I'd like to hear from anyone who has a comment on the subject, and I'm quite happy to answer a question or whatever, but I do like to think anyway that people will buy the book, will read the book, and will open their minds and on to the realities of life in our wonderful world, let's say. So thank you for viewing.